Hampshire's Republican Senate primary is still 13 days away, but many Republicans believe that the Democratic incumbent, Maggie Hassan, can be beaten in November. In a new poll out from the University of New Hampshire Survey Center, retired Army General Don Bolduc leads Republican primary voting with 43%, while New Hampshire State Senate President Chuck Morse is coming in second with 22%. No other candidates came in at over 5% in this poll. So for more on New Hampshire politics, Natalie Allison joins us now. She's a national political reporter at Politico. Natalie, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it. So what's interesting about New Hampshire is that Governor Sununu, who's a Republican, was thought of as a potential top candidate to run for the Senate seat. He was polling way ahead of Senator Hassan in a potential matchup. He ultimately decided to just focus on his current job, much to the dismay, of course, of Mitch McConnell. What happened there? Why didn't he run for Senate?
Well, Sununu found himself in a similar position to other Republican governors who top national Republican Senate operatives were trying to recruit to run for Senate, similarly to Arizona Governor Greg Ducey, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan. These are governors who are all pretty popular in their state, and that top national Republicans would have been lucky to have agreed to run for Senate. But these are all governors who at times have found themselves in a difficult place with former President Donald Trump, who knew that in order to get through a divisive Republican primary where they would likely be facing competition from the right, they would have to say and do things that maybe they weren't willing to do. And that if Trump got involved, backing someone else in a primary, for example, it could get pretty messy. And so Governor Sununu made the decision. He could leave his options open for the future. You know, he hasn't ruled out publicly a run for president, but he would just continue the job of governor. He knew he could easily get reelected to that without having to get involved with potentially messy Trump-involved primary.
Yeah, and if Republicans don't take over the Senate, I think a lot of strategists and operatives are going to be looking at those recruiting failures as perhaps a reason why. New Hampshire, used to be solidly Republican, but in the recent years it's shifted. What's been kind of driving that change?
Yeah, well, both of their existing U.S. senators are Democratic women. And the state, sure, it has, if you look at who's in the Senate right now, it has shifted to the left. But New Hampshire is a state that has a history of electing moderate Republicans. It is, a fairly conservative state, as in the New England states go. It certainly has a fiercely independent streak. And it has sent moderate Republicans in recent history. Now, a couple of those, the last two Republicans they've sent to the U.S. Senate, former Senator John Sununu and Kelly Ayotte, they were not reelected when they sought reelection. And so, this is a state where they go back and forth. And that means that Senator Hassan having to deal with the negative environment for Democrats right now, Biden's unpopularity in the state, because he is unpopular there, it does present an opening for Republicans if they get an electable candidate on the ballot.
Yeah, and while Republicans didn't get Sununu, they're still pretty competitive when it comes to running against Hassan. I'm curious kind of what the Republicans have been campaigning on that seem to have Hassan on the defense.
Well, I think it's important to note when we're looking at the Republican primary, which is, yes, just under 2 weeks away, that as of today, the national Republican establishment, if you will, is getting involved in this primary. So just this afternoon, we saw $4 million reserved in ad buys just over the next week and a half to support State Senate President Chuck Morse. So as you noted, he is running pretty far behind in public polling from Don Bolduc, but national Republicans would much rather see him on the ballot against Maggie Hassan. Don Bolduc is someone who has closely embraced Donald Trump's false conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. He even trashes Sununu, who is a fairly popular governor, has said some pretty outlandish things that the Republicans think, and the Democrats know to be true as well, would certainly help the Democrats in that general election ballot. And so Chuck Morse at this point is going to benefit from this $4 million being spent over the next week and a half to boost his campaign. And so we could see some pretty wild movement here just in the final stretch of this campaign. But Senator Hassan, she has had the whole summer to spend on advertising basically without anyone pushing back. She's had a lot of money that she's been able to raise. She's been on air since really last fall, building up her positive name recognition, touting her accomplishments in Congress, and trying to get ahead of what Democrats have always anticipated would be a Republican onslaught this fall once Republicans get past their primary and have a nominee.
Certainly one advantage of having a very late primary. Well, that will be a race to watch, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot over the course of this campaign. Natalie Allison, thank you so much for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Caitlin.